Hello, and once again, we are live with the Modern Mystery School UK and EU podcast and YouTube channel. And I am joined by many wonderful people today. We've got a panel, and we're all here live from Canada. Hi, everyone. Hi. We wanted to come together today just to share a little bit about the spiritual drug detox. This is a series of sessions which has been helping people for over 10 years now. And it's something that is more needed today than ever. But it's not for the reasons that you might think, because the title would suggest it's just for people who perhaps, you might jump to the conclusion, they've taken some recreational drugs or whatever. But let's delve a little bit deeper here and really explore this. So, Dr. Anne, as a medical doctor, I know people are going to be asking, what are drugs? And what are we classing as drugs within this framework? And should people just stop taking them if it's bad for you?
Thank you, Dr. Kate. I really appreciate being on today. Hi, everyone. Yes, this is an incredible modality, but what we really need to bear in mind is that, first of all, life today is pretty challenging. I think we'll all agree with that. And we will notice that people are taking drugs of different kinds to help them cope with life that bit better. And when this becomes problematic is when it gets in the way of our productivity, of our ability to really engage with the reality of life. Because sometimes the struggle of life is actually the thing that helps us to overcome and to grow, both as a physical and a spiritual being. Now, when it comes to drugs, drug taking as such, yes, we have the category of recreational drugs, which you mentioned. And yes, this is becoming more and more an issue for our society in general, including alcohol, including drugs like marijuana. And also, there's a huge piece out there at the minute for drugs like ayahuasca, or things that people are taking to connect them spiritually, that they feel that this is part of their spiritual journey. But we always have to bear in mind that the spiritual journey is partly this physical life as well, and overcoming the struggles and going through the things that are hard. And so this will also include things like caffeine, things like even toxic relationships. And I know that's a big one. Is there someone in your life who is your drug that you cannot do without, that you are using as a crutch? Someone that, is not healthy for you in your life. So what this series really does is that it helps us to overcome the attachment. It's the attachment to the things that are not good for us. And this will also, I was thinking about this the other day, but each one of us has to think very carefully about what that is. What is it for you? What is it that's wasting your time? What is it? We've only got a certain amount of minutes, a certain amount of hours on this planet to achieve what it is that we want to do. What is it that's distracting us from that? Now, you mentioned medical drugs as well. And this is very important for us to know. Generally, anyone who's on a drug that's been prescribed for you by your medical practitioner or your healthcare provider, that's there for a purpose to sustain you physically or mentally or even emotionally for a certain period of time. And when you're going through a series like this, your healthcare professional is the person to consult as you begin to feel better. So they are the person who's going to help you with that. We're not saying that you have to stop your medical drugs by any stretch of the imagination, because they are there for a purpose. But what we are suggesting is, if there's something in your life that's blocking you from your ideal life, from your best version of yourself, then this series is here to help you.
Amazing. Thank you for that clarification. Very important. And you're so right. It could just be something like sugar. I mean, let's say we've all got something.
Yes.
So this series is amazing. So Philip, why do we need healing? If we've stopped, say we've stopped taking all the drugs and we've been on a detox and we don't take any sugar, I don't know anybody out there who's not got some kind of attachment, but let's say that's happened. Why do we still need the healing?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. It's an honor to be here with you and share, because I think I have quite a history of drug taking. And from my own experience, I can say when we have taken drugs in the past and then stopped taking them, we learned that we are out of the state of homeostasis. We come to this world, we feel good as a child, but then we try to cope with this world. And for some of us who might be sensitive, we start taking drugs to cope with this harsh reality sometimes. And yeah, we need this healing to come back to this really almost effortless state of living, of being, and having that peace within. So it's a modality it's really dear to my heart, and I can really recommend it for anyone who has substance abuse, or as Dr. And said, the relationship that they're like might not healthy for them. Yeah, it's really, really an amazing healing that I highly can recommend.
Yeah, it's such an important piece there, isn't it? Because I know many people have, in maybe the younger years done whatever we've done, but even if it was, people that have perhaps had IVF or chemotherapy, all these different types of things, it's not necessarily that we're taking these things right now, but then we want to restore that sense of balance and peace to our system. And thank you for pointing that out, Philip, because that is very important, that we want to go back to that. Now, Cassandra, what if we've never taken drugs? Surely people don't need this healing.
Well, surely not. However, myself I don't really have a drug past. However, I have used addiction to cope, to numb myself, to distract myself in many various ways. This could include cigarette smoking. Alcohol is a big one, especially where I'm from. It's so socially acceptable, but what this is really doing is blocking us in our path. It is like distracting us and allowing us to to be less than. And we're not here for that. We're here to be truly in ourselves as our God selves. And so, I don't think there's a human on earth that could possibly say that they have not fallen for an addiction of some sort. And as we've already discussed, it doesn't have to be a drug. It could be a cigarette, like that was so common 20 years ago. And we've got vaping as well, and all these sorts of crutches that are there to distract us. And so in this healing modality, it's incredible that we can really start to reinfuse our soul with the truth, with the beauty, the radiance of who we truly are. So, I'm all for this healing modality for sure.
Yeah, and could it be something like an attachment to something that like a crutch? So it doesn't necessarily have to be a substance of any kind. Could that also help someone?
Oh, absolutely. Like I know for sure, we all have phones. And I even fall into this trap of, like if I get up early and I use it, then all day it's on my mind that I need to check it, you know? So it's these things, these digital distractions as well. TV is another one, sitting at home and watching TV when you could possibly be out enjoying life in another way. I'm not saying TV is bad. I'm just saying when we use it to excess. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that attachment to it, like I have to or I must, then like Dr. Anne was saying, then that can, cause the problem of the block, because it's preventing you from connecting to your true self as your God self. And I think anything that's taking us away from that, is the challenge. So thank you so much for that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cecile, how many sessions is it? So if somebody's really interested in this, how many sessions is it, and why do why would somebody consider healing on a spiritual level?
So what's amazing about these sessions is that they actually deal with the root causes, in a way, of addiction, right? We're talking now about all the different types of addictions, but why do we actually feel the need to medicate in this way, whether it's with a phone or with a substance? But ultimately, where does that come from? And a lot of the science, and then also, of course, the ancient, sciences that we study, point to the fact that it's actually something that might be intergenerational. So that we actually need to work with not just our own energy, but also the energies almost of our ancestors and everything that has come before us. And when we start working on such a deep level, it's not a one and done thing, which is why this is a series, right? It's a series of sessions that are done successively and that build on each other, and they start clearing out some of these early triggers of addiction that have been programmed into ourselves through the experiences of our ancestors. And so it's a minimum of 5 sessions, but really I think everyone would benefit from going the full course of 10 sessions. And that's something that can be customized, to the person. And it's a journey that the practitioner will go through with the client, and together that assessment will be done. But typically it's good to go all the full 10 sessions is recommended. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, I also recommend that. I find it absolutely fabulous. Thank you for that. So again, pointing out what you just said about that, it's like sometimes we have these things that really we can't put our finger on. It makes no sense why we're acting in a certain way or doing something in a certain way, because it doesn't really relate to our physical experience. And it's like it's coming from those other energies, and therefore no wonder we can't put our finger on it. So I love that explanation that you just gave, and it goes straight in to that root cause, so then it filters down and we can get rid of those attachments or addictions that have come from those energies. That's great. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, Yad, so can you just explain, what did you feel from receiving the session, and how has it changed your life?
Well, hi everyone. Thank you for having me. Well, this series is the most impactful in my progression. I remember it, and that's why I'm here today, because I wanted to help others. And as you were saying, there are things that, it's not about knowing how and why you feel this way, but sometimes it's really good to just let it go and eliminate all these feelings and thoughts, patterns, behaviors, all of these things. And it's one of those deep, deep sessions that helped me to be able to become aware of how I was and where my reactions came from, because I had no idea. And when I received these sessions, it gave me a greater understanding of where it came from and why I was that way. And, the path is all about coming to know thyself. And when we're able to, let go of these things that are keeping us from our true selves, then we're able to heal and to rise up to who we truly are. So for me, on a personal level, I had no awareness of the things that came up, but they were there, and I knew that I had to let them go. And the most interesting thing is that sometimes, we're just not born onto this planet. We've experienced things way before coming here. And we might have picked up these things that we have no idea about, but it's kind of the way we are. And, if we're stepping up and rising to our true selves, then we want to eliminate all those things, all the patterns, behaviors, and everything that keeps us from rising up. So it was truly powerful. I highly recommend these sessions. And sometimes you never know until you're in it and you're experiencing it, and you have the ability to work with your practitioner, your guide, and then you have the true understanding of coming to know yourself, because you're being led, guided, you're in a safe space to be able to let go and rise up.
Wonderful. Yeah, I second that as well. Yes, Cassandra, did you want to add?
Oh no, I was just cheering.
Oh yes,
That's
yes,
it.
yeah. Hands up. We're all like, yeah, it is. It's true. I mean, it is life changing, and I do agree with you in that sense. It's like sometimes things come up that you had no clue about. You didn't know, because the old saying is, if you knew about it, we would have done something about it already. So the chances are that we don't actually know, and so I am a big fan of these series of sessions. So, for us in UK, EU, we have practitioners all over. So get in touch with us. And if you're outside of that area and you're watching this, feel free to contact me. I will put you in touch with the nearest practitioner to you. We have them all over the world. It is super powerful thing to do for yourself and your progression. So yeah, I'm very glad that we have a whole lot more practitioners able to offer this. And thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today and sharing your wisdom.
Thank you, Dr. Kate. Thank you for having us.
My
Thank
pleasure.
Thank you.
Pleasure. And if you've been tuning in, we'll see you again soon.